Aaron adjusted his helmet as the spaceship descended through the colorful clouds of Zorathia. The planet glowed with strange lights and towering crystal structures that shimmered in the sunlight. He had never seen anything like it. The ground beneath them sparkled with a soft green glow, and distant mountains seemed to float in the mist. His heart raced with excitement. This was his first mission to an alien world, and everything around him felt alive and mysterious. The spaceship landed gently on a platform in the capital city. The air smelled fresh and slightly sweet. Aaron took off his helmet and stepped out. Tall, elegant buildings surrounded him, made of smooth materials that reflected light in soft rainbows. The streets were clean and strange. Floating vehicles moved silently above the city. He could hear soft musical sounds in the distance, almost as if the wind itself was singing. A group of Zorathians approached. They were taller than humans, with smooth, iridescent skin that changed color slightly in the light. Their eyes were large and bright, full of intelligence. They wore flowing robes that seemed to shimmer with energy. Aaron bowed slightly. One of them, a tall female with golden hair that floated as if underwater, stepped forward. She smiled politely. "Welcome to Zorathia," she said in perfect common, the language humans had developed for interstellar communication. "I am Princess Leora. It is an honor to have humans on our world." Aaron's mouth went dry for a moment. He had read about alien diplomacy, but meeting a real alien princess was different. She was beautiful, not in a simple way, but in a way that made everything around her seem softer and brighter. He nodded. "The honor is mine, Princess Leora," he replied. "I am Aaron, part of the research team sent to study your culture and technology." Leora tilted her head slightly, her expression curious. "Humans have traveled far. Tell me, Aaron, what do you hope to learn here?" Aaron took a deep breath. "I want to understand your people, your ways, and your knowledge. I believe humans and Zorathians can learn much from each other." Leora's eyes sparkled. "Then you have already begun well. Curiosity and respect are the highest values here." The princess gestured, and Aaron followed her through the city. Everywhere he looked, he saw wonders. Buildings shaped like spirals floated above the ground, connected by bridges of light. Small creatures with glowing wings moved among the streets, and gardens with colorful plants covered every terrace. Aaron felt like he had stepped into a dream. As they walked, Leora explained the history of Zorathia. "Our people have lived in peace for centuries. We focus on knowledge, art, and harmony. With nature, technology is advanced, but it is always guided by respect for life." Aaron listened carefully. "It is incredible. On Earth, we are still learning how to live together peacefully. Your people are far ahead in wisdom." Leora smiled softly. "Perhaps humans have courage and creativity that we lack. I believe both. Our species have much to share." They arrived at a large plaza filled with citizens and visitors. A ceremony was underway, celebrating the arrival of the human team. Aaron felt nervous as the crowd turned to look at him. He could sense their intelligence and curiosity. The Zorathians whispered among themselves, observing him with careful attention. Leora stood beside him and introduced him to the crowd. "This is Aaron, a human explorer. He comes with goodwill and knowledge. Let us welcome him to our world." The citizens bowed gracefully, a gesture that reminded Aaron of a dance. He returned the gesture, feeling the warmth of their acceptance. Some children approached him, curious about his uniform and helmet. Aaron knelt to speak with them, answering their questions and showing them how his equipment worked. The children giggled and tried to mimic his gestures, and Aaron laughed, feeling a connection despite the differences in their worlds. After the ceremony, Leora led Aaron to a quieter garden. The space was filled with glowing flowers and soft streams of water. Strange birds with crystal feathers flew overhead. Aaron felt a sense of peace he had never experienced. "You seem at ease here, Aaron," Leora said. "Do you enjoy our planet?" Aaron nodded. "Yes, very much. Everything is new and beautiful. I want to understand it all." Leora laughed softly, a sound like wind chimes. "Curiosity is important, but sometimes one must also observe and feel, not only study. Humans often rush to understand with tools, but here, understanding comes from respect and attention to life." Aaron listened carefully. He realized that studying Zorathia would not be just about technology or science. He would need to understand culture, emotions, and the subtle ways of the people. He felt both excited and challenged. As they walked, Leora asked about Earth. Aaron told her stories of mountains, oceans, cities, and forests. He described human families, music, and festivals. Leora's eyes widened with interest. She asked many questions, not in a formal way, but with genuine curiosity. Aaron felt a strange comfort in her presence. She did not judge him for being human. She listened with respect and wonder. By evening, the sky above Zorathia changed to deep shades of violet and gold. Lights appeared in the distance, floating gently in the air. Leora brought Aaron to a balcony overlooking the city. "This is the beauty of Zorathia at night," she said softly. "It reminds us that all life is connected and every action has meaning." Aaron felt a deep sense of awe. He realized that this planet was not only advanced in technology, but also in spirit. He felt a strong admiration for Leora and her people. As they stood together, the princess turned to him. "You are different from other humans I have read about. You do not come seeking conquest or power. You seek understanding." "That is rare." Aaron smiled humbly. "I hope I can learn and also share what humans know. Perhaps together we can do great things." Leora studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Perhaps we can. Come, Aaron, there is much to show you, but tonight rest and prepare. Tomorrow your journey truly begins." As Aaron returned to his quarters, he thought about the day. He had met an alien princess, walked through a city that seemed magical, and felt welcomed in a world so different from his own. He knew challenges awaited him, but he also felt a spark of hope. Perhaps humans could indeed make a place for themselves among the stars. The next morning, Aaron woke early. The light on Zorathia was soft and golden, and the air was filled with the scent of strange flowers. Today, he would explore the city more fully and meet the scientists and engineers who would help him study Zorathian technology. He felt nervous, but also excited. Everything on this planet was new, and he wanted to learn as much as he could. He walked to the research center, a large building of shining crystal and metal. Inside, humans and Zorathians worked side by side. Machines hummed quietly, and glowing screens displayed information in colors Aaron had never seen. He was introduced to several Zorathian engineers, including a kind female named Tira, who explained the workings of their energy network. Aaron watched closely. The Zorathians used energy in a way humans had never tried. Light flowed through their circuits like water, and machines seemed almost alive. Aaron asked questions, took notes, and shared ideas from Earth technology. The Zorathians listened carefully, impressed by his thoughtfulness and curiosity. Later, while he was examining a device, Aaron noticed a shadow. He turned and saw Princess Leora standing at the doorway, her golden hair catching the light. She smiled at him. "Aaron," she said softly, "I wanted to see how you work. You are very focused." Aaron felt his cheeks warm. "Thank you, Princess. I am learning a lot from your people. Everything is amazing." Leora walked closer and looked at the device he was studying. "You see patterns differently from us. Your way of thinking is unique." Aaron smiled. "I hope it is helpful." I want to contribute, not just observe. Leora nodded. That is why I like your presence. You respect us, but you also bring your own ideas. That is rare. Over the next few hours, Leora stayed nearby. Aaron explained small things about human technology and culture. He showed her how engineers on Earth designed machines for safety and efficiency. Leora listened, asking questions and sometimes suggesting ideas that surprised him. Aaron realized that she was intelligent and quick to learn, not just a figurehead. At one point, a problem arose in the energy network. A small sector of the city was losing power, and lights flickered in the nearby district. The engineers were unsure how to fix it quickly. Aaron examined the controls and realized the energy flow needed to be rerouted using a combination of Zorathian circuits and human logic. I think I can help, he said calmly. Leora watched him. Be careful, Aaron. Mistakes could cause a larger problem. I know, he replied, but we can do this together. He worked with the engineers, guiding them through the steps. Leora observed and occasionally offered suggestions. Her presence was calm, steady, and reassuring. The solution worked. Lights returned, and the energy flowed smoothly again. The Zorathians applauded quietly, showing their appreciation. Aaron felt proud but also relieved. He had helped, not just as a human observer, but as a contributor. Leora stepped forward and placed a hand on his arm. You are brave, Aaron, she said, and kind. Your people are fortunate to have you. Aaron felt a strange warmth in his chest. He realized that he was beginning to care about her more than he had expected. He looked into her eyes and saw intelligence, curiosity, and a kind of gentleness that made him feel safe. Over the next few days, Aaron and Leora spent more time together. They walked through the city, visiting markets, gardens, and libraries. Leora showed him Zorathian art and music, explaining how each piece represented balance and harmony. Aaron shared stories of Earth, telling her about mountains, oceans, and festivals. One afternoon, they sat in a quiet garden surrounded by glowing flowers. Leora asked about human families. Aaron told her about his parents, his siblings, and the traditions he loved. Leora listened closely, her head slightly tilted, as if she were trying to see the world through his eyes. You humans have strong bonds, she said thoughtfully. Family and friendship are very important. On Zorathia, we value knowledge, but I see that humans value heart as well. Aaron smiled. Yes, we care deeply for each other. That is what makes us strong, I think. Leora nodded. I see that in you, Aaron. You care not just for your own people, but for others. That is rare. They laughed together, sharing simple jokes about human habits and Zorathian customs. Aaron noticed that he was no longer nervous around her. He could speak freely, and she seemed to enjoy his company. It was the start of something unusual, something he did not expect on an alien world. One evening, as the twin suns of Zorathia began to set, Leora took Aaron to a terrace overlooking the city. The sky was painted in shades of pink and purple, and the floating buildings glowed softly in the light. Do you ever feel like the world is larger than we imagine? She asked. Aaron nodded. Every day. I thought Earth was big, but this place, it is more than I can describe. And meeting you makes it feel even more incredible. Leora smiled, her expression unreadable but gentle. I am glad you are here, Aaron, not just for what you do, but for who you are. Aaron felt his heart beat faster. He wanted to say something, but the words did not come. Instead, he simply nodded, feeling that connection without needing words. The why. Days passed quickly. Aaron learned about Zorathian science, helped with small projects, and shared human knowledge. Leora continued to watch him, sometimes quietly, sometimes asking questions that challenged his understanding. Their friendship grew naturally, filled with laughter, curiosity, and shared effort. Aaron realized something important. He was no longer just a visitor. He felt part of this world, and part of it was because of Leora. Her kindness, intelligence, and interest in him made him want to do better, to learn more, and to understand not just Zorathia, but her. One night, before sleeping, Aaron stood on his balcony and looked at the city lights. He thought about the strange, glowing streets, the floating buildings, and the people who had welcomed him. Most of all, he thought about Leora. He wondered if humans and Zorathians could ever truly understand each other, not just through science, but through heart. A soft voice behind him made him turn. Leora was there, holding a small crystal lantern. "Good night, Aaron," she said softly. "Thank you for today. You have helped us more than you know." "Good night, Princess," Aaron replied. "I am grateful to be here, and I am grateful for your friendship." Leora smiled and handed him the lantern. "May it remind you that curiosity and courage light the path forward." Aaron accepted it, feeling a warmth in his hand and heart. He realized that his time on Zorathia was just beginning, and that this friendship might change both their worlds in ways he could not yet imagine. The next morning, Aaron awoke feeling both excited and nervous. Today, he would visit the Hall of Traditions, a place where the Zorathians practiced their oldest rituals. He had been invited by Princess Leora herself, who wanted him to understand their culture more deeply. Aaron knew that learning the ways of Zorathia would not be easy. Their customs were subtle, and even small mistakes could be misunderstood. Leora met him at the entrance of the hall. Her robes shimmered softly in the morning light, and her eyes reflected a mixture of curiosity and warmth. "Are you ready, Aaron?" she asked. Aaron nodded. "I am ready. I want to understand your people, even if it is difficult for me." She smiled and took his hand lightly. "That is why you are different. Most humans try to rush through customs. You take time to learn." Inside the hall, the walls were covered with intricate patterns that glowed faintly. The floor was smooth and seemed almost liquid, reflecting the light from above. A group of Zorathians moved gracefully around the room, performing rituals that involved flowing gestures, quiet chants, and precise movements. Each action appeared simple, but Aaron sensed deep meaning behind every step. "Watch closely," Leora whispered. "Every movement, every gesture has a purpose. We honor the past, the present, and the future in these rituals." Aaron tried to follow. He mimicked the gestures slowly, careful not to make mistakes. At first, he stumbled, and one of the Zorathians looked at him with polite concern. Leora gently guided his hands. "Not like that. Feel the energy, Aaron. Let it flow through you, not just your arms." He closed his eyes and concentrated. Slowly, he began to move with more fluidity. The Zorathians nodded in approval. Aaron felt a strange sense of peace. Even though he was far from Earth, he understood that their rituals were about connection, not performance. After the session, Leora led him to a quiet room filled with books and crystals. "Zorathian culture is built on respect," she said. "Respect for knowledge, for life, and for each other. Understanding it is not always easy, but it is important if you wish to live among us." Aaron nodded. "I can see that. Humans are different. We value freedom and progress, but sometimes we forget respect. I hope I can learn from your ways." Leora smiled. "And I hope you teach us about yours. Both our worlds can grow stronger if we share knowledge and heart." The next challenge came when Aaron accompanied Leora to a marketplace. The streets were filled with Zorathians trading goods, sharing stories, and performing art. Aaron noticed that even simple gestures like handing over a piece of fruit or bowing slightly required attention. He tried to follow, but he accidentally used the wrong hand to pass a small glowing fruit to a vendor. The vendor paused, looking at Aaron carefully. Aaron felt a flush of embarrassment. Leora noticed immediately. She stepped beside him and whispered, "It is okay. Mistakes happen. Observe, and next time it will be correct." Aaron took a deep breath. He watched how the Zorathians exchanged goods and stories, noting each subtle movement. By the end of the visit, he had learned to hand things correctly, bow, with respect, and even greet the children with the proper tone of voice. Leora clapped softly. "You are improving. You have patience, and that is the most important skill here." Later, they sat by a flowing stream of glowing water. Leora asked Aaron about human emotions and traditions. Aaron explained festivals, music, and stories passed down through generations. Leora listened with fascination, asking questions that made Aaron think more deeply about his own culture. "You humans have strong bonds through your stories," Leora said. "Even if you are far apart, your tales connect you." "Yes," Aaron agreed. "Stories, songs, and celebrations remind us where we come from. They teach us lessons and help us care for each other." Leora looked at him with something like admiration. "I see that in you, Aaron. You care for more than knowledge. You care for people. That is rare." Aaron felt a warmth in his chest. He realized that he had begun to care deeply for Leora as well. Her intelligence, her patience, and her curiosity made him respect her in ways he had never expected. Yet he reminded himself that he was a visitor. He needed to understand more before he acted on feelings he barely understood. The cultural lessons continued over the following days. Aaron learned to navigate Zorathian conversation using subtle gestures and tones. He practiced their arts, their dances, and their songs. Leora guided him through every step, never impatient, always encouraging. He began to understand that on Zorathia, knowledge and emotion were not separate. Intelligence, skill, and heart were all connected. One afternoon, Leora took him to the Observatory of Light, a tower where Zorathians studied the stars. The walls glowed with charts of galaxies and planets, some known to humans, others entirely new. Aaron felt awe as he looked at the information. "These are our observations," Leora explained. "We study the universe, but we also study ourselves. Knowing the stars helps us know life and our place within it." Aaron looked at her, amazed by the connection she felt with the universe. "On Earth, we study the stars too, but often we forget to look at life itself with the same care." Leora smiled. "Perhaps humans have courage and curiosity that we can learn from. Your presence here proves it." That evening, as the twin suns set, Aaron and Leora walked along a terrace above the city. The sky turned gold and violet, reflecting off the crystal towers below. "Aaron," Leora said softly, "you have done more than learn our ways. You have shown respect, patience, and heart. That is why people speak of you among the citizens. They see a human who is not only curious, but also kind." Aaron felt a mix of pride and humility. "Thank you, Princess. I only want to understand and help. I want to learn from your people and share what humans can offer." Leora's eyes reflected the last light of the suns. "Then our worlds are lucky to have met. There is much we can do together." Aaron smiled, feeling a growing bond between them. He realized that Zorathia was not only about learning technology or studying culture, it was about connection, friendship, and understanding. And with Leora by his side, he felt that anything might be possible. As he returned to his quarters, he thought about the day. He had stumbled at times, yet he had learned and grown. More importantly, he had begun to understand the heart of Zorathia and the kindness of Princess Leora. A quiet excitement filled him. The challenges ahead might be difficult, but he now had a friend who would guide him. That night, he looked out at the glowing city, the lights reflecting like stars. He thought about his own world, the distance he had traveled, and the connection he was forming on this distant planet. He knew the days ahead would test him in many ways, but he felt ready. Zorathia had taught him that courage, respect, and heart could bridge even the greatest gaps. The day began quietly, with soft golden light spilling over the city of Zorathia. Aaron walked through the streets, thinking about the lessons he had learned about the culture and customs of this extraordinary planet. He had grown more confident in his understanding, but nothing could prepare him for the danger that was about to arrive. A sudden alarm echoed through the city. Bright beams of red and orange flashed across the sky, and citizens looked up with concern. Aaron ran toward the central control tower, where Leora was already coordinating with the engineers. Her robes glowed faintly, and her expression was calm, but serious. "Aaron, thank you for coming quickly," she said. "A rogue asteroid is approaching our main city. If it hits, the energy cores and many buildings could be destroyed." Aaron's heart raced. He had seen simulations of disasters, but now it was real. "What can I do to help?" he asked. Leora looked at him, her eyes full of trust. "We need all hands. I will guide you, but you must follow instructions carefully. Are you ready?" "I am ready," Aaron said firmly. They rushed to the energy control center. Engineers were working quickly, adjusting panels and running calculations. Screens displayed the asteroid's path and the potential impact points. Aaron studied the data and realized that the asteroid was slightly off course. With precise calculations and a small adjustment to the city's energy shields, it could be redirected away from the most populated areas. "This is going to be difficult," Aaron said. "The shields can handle small deviations, but we need exact timing." Leora nodded. "Then let us act without hesitation. The lives of many depend on us." Aaron and Leora worked side by side. Leora guided the Zorathian engineers, offering encouragement and clarity. Aaron inputted calculations, monitored energy flows, and suggested ways to optimize the shields. The two of them moved quickly and carefully, communicating with precision. One point, a surge of energy caused a brief blackout in one section of the control room. Sparks flew, and alarms blared. Aaron froze for a moment, but Leora grabbed his hand. "Stay calm. Focus on the solution, not the fear." Her voice was steady, and Aaron felt courage return. Together, they rerouted the energy, stabilizing the shields. The asteroid approached the city rapidly, and every second counted. Aaron noticed a smaller asteroid fragment breaking off and heading toward a residential area. Without thinking, he calculated a trajectory for the shields to protect the district. "Leora, I can handle the fragment if you manage the main asteroid," he said. Leora studied him carefully. "Are you sure?" "I am sure," Aaron replied, with agreement. They split their efforts. Leora focused on the main asteroid, guiding the energy flows with precision and determination. Aaron concentrated on the fragment, his hands moving quickly across the controls. The smaller piece threatened the district, but Aaron's adjustments allowed the shields to redirect it safely. The entire city watched in tense silence as the main asteroid neared. Its shadow stretched across the buildings, and citizens held their breath. Leora's hands moved with grace and speed, and Aaron followed her directions. Together, they guided the energy shields, bending light and force to create a protective barrier. The asteroid grazed the city's edge, but did not hit the cores or homes. The city was safe. A cheer rose from the citizens. Zorathians looked at Aaron with admiration. Leora smiled at him, her face glowing with relief. "You were brave and precise," she said softly. "Without your help, the result could have been much worse." Aaron felt a mix of pride and humility. "We did it together," he said. "Your guidance made the difference." The rest of the day was filled with recovery and inspection. Citizens repaired minor damage, and engineers checked the stability of energy networks. Aaron worked alongside them, sharing human techniques and learning new methods from the Zorathians. Leora stayed nearby, offering support and encouragement. As evening approached, Aaron and Leora stood on a balcony overlooking the city. The twin suns were setting, casting gold and violet light across the buildings. The streets were quiet, and the citizens moved slowly, still processing the day's events. "You were amazing today, Aaron," Leora said softly. "Your courage and intelligence saved lives." Aaron looked at her, feeling a strange warmth in his chest. "I only did what I could. You were incredible, too. You guided everyone calmly and skillfully. I learned from you." Leora smiled, a gentle expression that made Aaron feel both proud and nervous. It is rare for humans to face danger with such focus. Most would panic. "I had to focus," Aaron said. "I could not let fear take over. Lives depended on us." They stood in silence for a moment, watching the city glow in the evening light. Aaron realized that this experience had changed him. He had faced real danger and worked alongside someone he respected deeply. The bond between him and Leora had grown stronger, formed through trust, courage, and shared effort. Later that night, Aaron returned to his quarters. He could not stop thinking about the mission. He replayed every decision, every calculation, and every moment of teamwork with Leora. He understood now that courage was not just about acting in danger, but about thinking clearly, respecting others, and trusting those around him. A soft tap at his door made him turn. Leora stood there, holding a small, glowing device. "I wanted to ensure you rested," she said. "You need sleep after today. Your mind and body worked hard." Aaron smiled. "Thank you, Princess. I am fine. But I will rest, and thank you for trusting me today. I have never worked with anyone like you before." Leora stepped closer, her presence calm and reassuring. "And I have never worked with anyone like you, Aaron. You are human, yet your heart is brave and steady. That is rare." Aaron felt a warmth he could not explain. He realized that his admiration for Leora had grown into something deeper. Her intelligence, courage, and kindness had touched him in ways he had not expected. "Good night, Leora," he said softly. "Good night, Aaron," she replied, her voice gentle. "Tomorrow the work continues, but tonight, rest and know that together we can face any challenge." As he lay in his bed, Aaron thought about the day. The city was safe, the people were alive, and he had shared a moment of courage and teamwork with someone extraordinary. He understood that this was only the beginning of his adventures on Zorathia. Challenges would come, but with Leora and the lessons he had learned, he felt ready. He closed his eyes, feeling the glow of the city and the warmth of friendship and trust. The dangerous mission had shown him something important. Courage, knowledge, and heart could overcome even the greatest threats. And with Leora by his side, he knew the bond they shared could face anything the universe might bring. The next morning, the skies of Zorathia were painted in soft shades of pink and gold. Aaron walked through the crystal gardens, thinking about the events of the previous day. The asteroid mission had tested him in ways he had never imagined. He had felt fear, focus, and courage all at once. But there was another feeling that stayed with him, stronger than any fear or excitement. It was his growing affection for Princess Leora. Aaron paused near a fountain of glowing water. The surface shimmered with light, reflecting the colors of the sky. He watched as the water rippled, thinking about Leora's voice, her smile, and the way she had guided him through every challenge. He had realized that he no longer thought of her simply as a friend or a guide. His heart wanted to tell her how he felt, but he feared crossing a line he did not yet understand. He heard soft footsteps behind him. Leora approached, her robes moving gracefully as she walked. She smiled when she saw him. "Good morning, Arin," she said. "You look thoughtful." Arin took a deep breath. "I am thinking about many things," he admitted. "About this world, about your people, and about you." Leora tilted her head, curiosity in her eyes. "About me?" she asked gently. Arin's heart raced. He knew this was the moment. "Yes, Leora, I have come to care for you deeply, more than I expected. I think I love you. For a moment?" Leora said nothing. Arin held his breath. The words hung in the air, heavier than any asteroid or storm he had faced. He watched her carefully, hoping he had not made a mistake. Leora finally stepped closer, her expression calm but unreadable. She studied him with her large, glowing eyes. Arin felt a mixture of hope and fear. Would she reject him? Would she see him as a foolish human? "Arin," she said softly, "your words are surprising. They are not common among your people or ours." Arin nodded. "I know. I did not say them lightly. I have learned so much about your world and your people. And I have learned that I respect you, admire you, and care for you deeply. I had to tell you." Leora looked away for a moment, watching the water in the fountain, the glow reflected in her eyes, and Arin could see a flicker of emotion he could not fully understand. "On Zorathia," she said finally, "love is different from what I have read about humans. It is not just emotion. It is trust, honor, and commitment. To say that you love someone is to promise care, respect, and protection." Arin stepped closer, his voice steady but gentle. "I understand. I do not make this promise lightly. I want to respect you, your people, and your world. I want to care for you in every way I can." Leora's eyes softened. She reached out and touched his hand lightly. The touch was simple, but it sent warmth through Arin's chest. He realized that her reaction was not rejection, but careful consideration. "Arin," she said, "your heart is brave, like your actions. You have shown courage, respect, and understanding. These are qualities we value highly. Your words, they are not foolish, they are honest." Arin felt a rush of relief. "So, you do not mind?" he asked quietly. Leora smiled, though it was small and thoughtful. "I do not dismiss your words, but you must understand that our bond is not only personal, it has meaning for my people. I need time to reflect, as you must understand your place here." Arin nodded. He understood. Love was not just about saying words, it was about respect and understanding. He could wait. He could be patient. The bond between them was already special, and he did not want to rush what was important. They walked together through the gardens, speaking of lighter things, flowers, music, and the beauty of Zorathia. Yet beneath the calm conversation, a quiet tension remained. Both felt the unspoken connection growing stronger, like a thread tying their hearts across worlds. Later, Leora brought Arin to a balcony overlooking the city. The twin suns were beginning to set, casting golden and violet light across the towers. The city shimmered like a jewel, peaceful after the recent danger. "Arin," Leora said softly, "today we have faced more than words. We have shared challenges, thoughts, and trust. That is the beginning of understanding love on Zorathia. It is more than feelings. It is shared effort, care, and respect. You have shown all of these." Arin looked into her eyes. "Then maybe love can grow from trust and courage as much as from words." Leora nodded. "Yes, Arin, that is the truth of our people. And you have shown that truth in every action." A quiet moment passed. Arin felt speechless, amazed at the depth, of her understanding and her careful consideration. He realized that love on Zorathia was not simple, but it was beautiful. It required patience, courage, and respect, qualities he hoped he could continue to show. "Thank you, Leora," he said finally. "Even if you are not ready to say the words back, I am grateful that you hear me, that you consider what I feel." "That is enough for now." Leora smiled softly. "And I am grateful for your honesty and courage. Few humans can speak with such heart. You honor your people and ours." As the sun set completely, the city lights glowed like stars. Arin realized that the moment had changed him. He had expressed his feelings with honesty and respect. Leora had acknowledged them with thoughtfulness and care. The bond between them had deepened, even without words of confirmation. That night, as Arin prepared for rest, he thought about the future. The days ahead would be filled with challenges, discoveries, and dangers. Yet he felt a quiet confidence. His bond with Leora was growing, built on trust, respect, and shared experiences. He knew that love on Zorathia was not about rushing, but about understanding, caring, and acting with honor. Before sleeping, he looked out at the glowing city. He thought about Leora, the lessons he had learned, and the hope that their connection might grow. He understood that love was more than words. It was courage, patience, and respect, and he was willing to wait, to learn, and to act with heart. With that thought, Arin closed his eyes, feeling a quiet warmth. The galaxy was vast, Zorathia was beautiful, and a new chapter of his life had begun. A chapter filled with trust, understanding, and the quiet promise of something extraordinary. The morning on Zorathia began with a soft golden light that reflected off the crystal towers of the city. Arin woke early, thinking about his confession from the previous day. He had shared his feelings with Princess Leora, and though she had not given a direct answer, her careful consideration had given him hope. Today, he hoped to continue learning from her and growing closer in trust and understanding. He found Leora waiting for him in the palace gardens. Her golden hair shimmered in the sunlight, and her expression was calm but alert. She smiled when she saw him approaching. "Good morning, Arin," she said. "I hope you rested well after yesterday." "I did, Princess," Arin replied. "Thank you for asking. I was thinking about our conversation, and I hope it did not make you uncomfortable." Leora shook her head gently. "No, Arin, you spoke with honesty, and that is always respected here. Words of the heart are never taken lightly, but they are never dismissed either. Today I want to show you something." Curious, Arin followed her through the gardens. They walked past glowing plants, streams of water that shimmered with light, and small crystal statues that seemed to hum softly. The tranquility of the garden contrasted sharply with the excitement and nervousness he felt in his chest. "Where are we going?" he asked. "To a place that holds meaning for me and my people," Leora said. "It is a sacred grove where we reflect on trust, courage, and connection. I want you to see it because you have shown all of these." They arrived at the grove, a quiet area filled with tall, glowing trees. The leaves sparkled with soft light, and the air was filled with a gentle, melodic hum. It was a place of peace, yet it radiated power and wisdom. Arin felt a sense of awe as he looked around. "Arin," Leora said softly, "you have faced challenges here on Zorathia that most humans would not dare. You have shown courage, patience, and understanding. But more than that, you have shown care for me and for our people." Arin's heart beat faster. He wanted to speak, but he waited, sensing that this moment was important. Leora continued, her voice gentle and thoughtful. "Your confession of feelings yesterday. It surprised me, but it did not frighten me. On the contrary, it made me think about the bond that is forming between us. It made me realize that trust and care can bridge even the greatest differences. Aaron looked at her, wide-eyed. You mean you do not reject me? Leora smiled, softly. I do not reject you, Aaron. Your words were honest, and your actions have proven that your heart is steady. That is rare. Very few humans or Zorathians would show such honesty and courage. Aaron felt a wave of relief and warmth. He had not expected her words to be so affirming. He had feared rejection, but instead he felt recognized, respected, and admired. I care about you, Leora, he said quietly. Not just because of who you are, but because of what you inspire in me. You make me want to be better, to think more, and to act with respect and courage. Leora studied him, her large, glowing eyes reflecting both sunlight and something deeper. Aaron, your words honor me, and your actions, they have proven that your heart is true. That is more than I could ask for in a friend or in a partner. You have left me speechless, not out of fear or uncertainty, but out of admiration for your courage, honesty, and integrity. Aaron felt his chest tighten. He realized that this was more than acceptance. Leora's reaction showed admiration and trust, qualities he had longed for but had never expected to receive from an alien princess. Your bond with our people grows stronger each day, Leora continued. But your bond with me is personal, built on trust and respect. That is why I wish to spend more time with you, to understand each other not only as human and Zorathian, but as beings capable of heart, courage, and connection. Aaron nodded, feeling a quiet happiness. I want that too, Leora. I want to understand you, your people, and your world. And I want to share what humans can offer with respect and care. They spent the day in the sacred grove, walking among glowing trees, listening to the gentle hum of the wind through the leaves. Leora showed him patterns in the trees, symbols of harmony and courage. She explained how Zorathians use these symbols to guide decisions, relationships, and understanding. Aaron watched her with admiration. Her wisdom, patience, and care for her people were unlike anything he had ever seen. He realized that his affection for her had deepened into respect and trust that went beyond simple attraction. Aaron, Leora said, pausing near a crystal-clear stream. This place reminds me that connection is built slowly, with effort, care, and understanding. Yesterday, your confession opened a door. Today, your actions and patience show me that the bond between us can grow into something meaningful. Aaron felt a surge of hope. Then, we can continue, step by step, learning from each other? He asked. Yes, Leora replied with a smile. Step by step, with respect and courage. You have shown that you are capable of both. That is why your presence here matters, not just as a visitor, but as someone who can share heart and knowledge. The day passed with quiet reflection, shared laughter, and discussion of both human and Zorathian worlds. Aaron realized that Leora's reaction had not only left him speechless, but had also given him clarity. Love on Zorathia was not about rushing or forcing emotion. It was about understanding, trust, and admiration. His confession had not been dismissed, but had been met with thoughtfulness and respect. As evening approached, they stood together on a balcony overlooking the city. The twin suns were setting, casting a warm glow across the towers and streets. The city was peaceful, recovering from past dangers, and Aaron felt a sense of belonging he had never known on Earth. Aaron, Leora said softly, today has shown me that your heart is steady and your courage is true. That is why I am not only listening to your words, but also honoring them. Your honesty and bravery have left me speechless, in the best way possible. You inspire me, and you honor both your people and mine. Aaron felt a quiet joy. He realized that the bond between them was growing stronger, built on shared experiences, trust, and mutual admiration. He did not need immediate answers or declarations. The connection itself was meaningful, and it filled him with hope and determination as he returned to his quarters that night. Aaron reflected on the day. Leora's reaction had been unexpected, thoughtful, and full of respect. He had spoken his heart, and she had responded not with rejection, but with admiration and understanding. He realized that his journey on Zorathia was no longer just about learning and exploration. It was about connection, trust, and the quiet growth of something extraordinary between two beings from different worlds. He closed his eyes, feeling the warmth of the city lights below and the gentle hope in his heart. For the first time, he understood that courage and honesty could inspire admiration, and that love, true love, was built not on haste, but on respect, trust, and shared experience. The morning on Zorathia was calm, yet the air carried a quiet tension. News had spread that an unknown threat was approaching the planet. A strange energy anomaly had appeared near the outer orbit, and Zorathian sensors could not identify its origin. Citizens looked to their leaders with concern, and the palace was filled with strategists and engineers trying to understand the situation. Aaron awoke with a mix of excitement and determination. He had grown to love this world, its people, and Princess Leora. He had faced danger before, but this time felt different. It was not just about courage or skill. It was about protecting those he had come to care for deeply. Leora found him in the palace gardens, her expression calm but focused. Aaron, the anomaly is unlike anything we have seen. It is powerful and unpredictable. We need to act carefully. I understand, Princess, Aaron said. Whatever it is, we can face it together. She nodded. That is why I asked you to join the team. Your knowledge of human technology and your courage can make a difference. They moved quickly to the control center, where engineers monitored the anomaly. Screens displayed a swirling mass of energy, pulsing with colors that seemed alive. Zorathian scientists calculated trajectories. But the anomaly moved unpredictably, sometimes approaching the planet, sometimes retreating. Aaron studied the data. Its energy patterns are irregular but not chaotic. There is a logic to it. If we can synchronize our shields with its frequency, we might stabilize it instead of letting it cause destruction. Leora looked at him. Then we must try. Every second counts. Together, they guided the engineers, combining Zorathian knowledge with Aaron's understanding of human engineering. Leora remained calm and precise, giving instructions while observing the anomaly's responses. Aaron monitored calculations, adjusting the shields and circuits. The tension was high, yet their teamwork was seamless. As the anomaly drew closer, a surge of energy struck the city's shield, causing sparks and alarms to flare. Aaron's hands moved quickly, rerouting energy to stabilize the shield. Leora observed, guiding his actions with steady voice. You can do this, Aaron, she said softly. Trust your calculations. He took a deep breath and adjusted the frequency. The shield hummed, then glowed brighter. The anomaly shifted, its movement slowing, then stabilizing above the city. Citizens watched in awe as the swirling mass hovered peacefully, no longer threatening destruction. You did it, Leora said, her eyes shining. You helped save the city and our people. Your courage and intelligence made the difference. Aaron felt a rush of relief and pride, but he knew the danger was not over. The anomaly still pulsed with energy, and they had only stabilized it temporarily. We need to understand it fully, he said. It may not remain calm for long. Leora agreed. Together they studied the anomaly, analyzing its energy patterns, movement, and frequency. Aaron suggested a way to interact with it, using a combination of human technology and Zorathian energy channels. Leora helped him implement the plan, coordinating with the engineers to create a stable interface. As they worked, Aaron felt Leora's hand brush lightly against his. The touch was brief but reassuring, a silent promise of trust and connection. He smiled, feeling a warmth that strengthened his resolve. Finally, they activated the interface. Energy flowed between the anomaly and the city's shields, creating a bridge of light. The anomaly responded, pulsing in rhythm with the shields, then slowly dispersing into harmless streams of energy. The city was safe. The citizens erupted in quiet cheers. Zorathians approached Aaron, expressing admiration and gratitude. Leora stepped forward, placing her hand on his arm. Aaron, today you showed not only courage and intelligence, but also heart. Your presence here has proven that humans and Zorathians can face the universe together. Aaron felt his chest swell with pride and emotion. I only did what I could, Princess. You guided us all, and together we succeeded. Leora smiled warmly. No, Aaron, you inspired us. Your heart, honesty, and bravery have touched not only me, but our people. You are a true friend and an extraordinary human. Later, as the sun began to set, Aaron and Leora walked through the gardens. The air was filled with the soft glow of flowers, and the city shimmered beneath them. Aaron felt a quiet peace, knowing they had overcome yet another challenge together. Leora, he said softly, I realize now that my place here is not just as a visitor. I want to stay, to learn, to help, and to share life with you and your people. Leora looked at him, her expression gentle. Aaron, you have proven yourself through action, thought, and heart. Your presence matters more than words can describe. You honor both our worlds. Aaron took a deep breath. Then, I hope we can continue to grow our bond, step by step, understanding each other and facing whatever challenges come our way. Leora nodded, a soft smile touching her lips. Yes, Aaron. Together we can face anything. Trust, courage, and heart will guide us. As night fell, the twin moons rose, casting silver light across the crystal towers. Aaron and Leora stood side by side, watching the city glow below. The events of the day had shown them both the power of trust, teamwork, and understanding. They had faced fear, danger, and the unknown, yet their bond had grown stronger through each challenge. I never imagined I would find friendship and connection so far from Earth, Aaron said quietly. And I never imagined that a human could teach me so much about courage, heart, and perspective, Leora replied. You have changed the way I see the universe. Aaron smiled, feeling a deep warmth in his chest. Then let us continue this journey together. For your people, for my people, and for the bond that has grown between us. Leora's eyes glowed softly. Yes, Aaron. Together, we will explore, protect, and grow. Across worlds, across differences, our bond will endure. The city rested below them, peaceful and safe. The stars twinkled above, and the glow of the twin moons reflected off the crystal towers. Aaron knew that Zorathia had given him more than knowledge, more than adventure. It had given him connection, trust, and the possibility of something extraordinary. As he looked at Leora, standing with quiet confidence and warmth, he realized that humanity's courage, intelligence, and heart had not only survived on Zorathia, but had inspired admiration, trust, and a bond that transcended worlds. He understood fully that humans could face any challenge, bridge any divide, and shine brightly in the vast universe. Hand in hand, Aaron and Leora looked out at the horizon, ready for whatever future awaited. Together, they had faced danger, shared understanding, and proven that heart and courage could overcome even the greatest challenges. Their journey was only beginning, but the bond they shared was unbreakable. In that moment, Arin understood the truth of Zorathia and humanity alike. Courage, knowledge, and heart could transcend worlds, and the connections forged through respect. And trust could create something extraordinary. He felt proud to be human, proud to stand beside Leora, and hopeful for a future where their worlds could grow together, guided by understanding, admiration, and love.